You have reached your final destination. Have you followed the tulips all the way towards the water fountain that doesn't work, and the giant pine tree near the Markham Center? If you have, you will see just beyond the parking lot is a white gazebo in the back of the gardens near the forest. Did you know that the meaning behind the red tulip originated from a tragic Turkish legend? When a prince discovered that his beloved maiden had been killed, he rode his horse off of a cliff, and from every droplet of blood that soaked into the ground, a red tulip bloomed out of true love. Follow the gray stones and the red and yellow tulips. Don't be afraid to step on the grass. Here I encourage you to take the path less traveled by and make your way towards the central wooden feature that houses 4 benches and prelude to the rose garden. Turn right towards the stop sign at the end of the street. A silent red and white shout that will direct you towards the Conrad Formal Gardens, in full bloom with bobbing petals. Keep walking past the Psychology Building and descend the stairs until you get to the blacktop street in between the Psychology parking garage and the fenced-in baseball field. Walk towards the Psychology Building, a glass monument, one room that is a cantilever, meaning it jets out without any structural support underneath it, as well as one glass staircase that you can see everything around it from the second floor to the third floor, reminding you of Hogwarts and the ever-changing staircases. Some say it's some kind of modern magic. Others agree that it's just confusing. Did you know that the ground here is supposed to look like deoxyribonucleic acid? Pearson will be the building that greets you next, with its Charlie Harper mosaic titled Spaces for All Species. conveying his minimalist, realistic style with different colored squares of tile, working together like stained glass to create one giant web of life. You could argue that all the buildings on this campus are just as interconnected as those stone creatures, all made up of the same basic blueprint in order to embody this giant concept of an ambiguous purpose, university, or even life. Follow the gray pavement beneath your feet that feels as though you are following some rough and jagged construction project away from a natural scene. It will lead you to High Street. You will know when you reach it because it's one of the busiest streets in Oxford, Ohio, laced with sandwich shops, bars, and clothing stores that are too expensive for anyone, yet somehow manage to stay in business. When you emerge from a realm of transcendentalists and get to the other side, exposed with red brick, you will be near what used to be the Brill Science Library, but is now the Print Center. There are 3 main trails that cut through Bishop Woods. Take the 3rd trail on your left, closest to Upham Hall. It will feel like you are passing through a tunnel of trees, as though it were a parting of the green as opposed to the parting of the Red Sea. They shoot up and jut straight up on either side, making it seem almost like a maze. Unlike a maze, where there are twists and turns and deliberately constructed dead ends, it is very easy to find your way through the end of these trails. Bishop Woods used to be known as the Lower Woods. It was renamed after Miami University's first president, Robert Hamilton Bush. There used to be a little shack built there called the Poets' Shack. It was torn down around 1930 due to the later creation of Upham Hall. Apparently, poets are not to be contained. Exit out of the glass, away from the custom-made globe that mimics our own. Face color with its Foucault swinging pendulum comprised of a 10-inch iron ball attached to 43-foot cable weighing 160 pounds. These buildings of science make models to try and understand the theories of rotation and how the world begins and works. Speaking of beginnings, begin from the quiet home of 19,000 square feet of a collection of specimens gathered by William H. Scheidler during the 1920s. Good luck.